Today we are going to talk about how to become software development. High-income skills include salary potential without degree step-by-step blueprint guide by Daily Mindset. Health Adjuster to success. Welcome to the new digital gold rush, where skills define success. A new path has opened up for anyone with determination, an internet connection, and a willingness to learn. Become a self-taught software developer, a role in high demand across the globe. Nearly every part of our modern lives is powered by software, written by skilled developers. This creates a massive demand for people who can build and maintain these digital tools. Companies are searching for individuals who possess practical, real-world skills to solve problems and build things that work.
See, in life, you can go through life, you can come up with reasons or you can come up with results. You can come up with excuses or you can come up with achievements. You can go through life blaming or you can come up with solutions. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair.
We can choose that. And subscribe.
You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the f*** after it every daggone day.
It's very, very simple to get what you want, but it's not easy. It's your job to make yourself do the crap you don't want to do so you can be everything that you're supposed to be.
Welcome to Steps.
And you're so damn busy waiting to feel like it.
Please.
And you're never going to.
Comment,
ever.
And subscribe.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off.
Welcome to
Everybody
Steps
wants the prize,
to
but
be
nobody loves the
successful
process.
video.
Everybody wants to be a champion, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to be a champion. Everybody wants to hold up the trophy and say, man, I did it, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to do it. I love the process.
This guide is your map to a high-income career in software development. This is the digital gold rush, and you have a chance to stake your claim. Let's debunk the myth that a university degree is the only path to a high-paying career. The tech industry values skills over degrees. Your ability to code and solve problems is what truly matters. Practical skills speak louder than credentials. Universities offer structure and networks, but can be slow and expensive. Self-teaching offers flexibility and direct access to in-demand skills. Your portfolio demonstrates your abilities. Showing a functioning application proves you can do the work, unlocking opportunities. Another misconception is the idea of the born coder. It's the image we see in movies of a lone genius typing furiously, effortlessly creating brilliant software. This stereotype is not only inaccurate, but it's also incredibly damaging. The truth is that coding is not an innate talent or a superpower. It is a skill, just like learning a musical instrument, a new language, or how to cook. Coding is very similar. You will encounter confusing errors and frustrating bugs. The key is to understand that writing code is fundamentally about problem solving. It's not about having a special kind of brain. You absolutely can learn to code and build an amazing career for yourself. What is the single most important ingredient for success on the self-taught path? It is motivation. You are the student, the teacher, and the curriculum director all in one. You are in the driver's seat. Your internal drive will be the fuel that keeps you going. Identify your primary motivation. Keep it front and center, and remind yourself why you started. Set small, achievable goals. Celebrate these wins and share your progress. This creates a positive feedback loop that makes the learning process sustainable. So, you're motivated and ready to challenge the old myths. You understand that this path is open to you. But, what does the journey actually look like? What are the practical steps you need to take? This guide is designed to be your comprehensive roadmap, taking you from zero knowledge to being a job-ready candidate. We will leave no stone unturned. We'll move beyond vague encouragement and provide a clear, actionable blueprint that you can start following today. Our goal is to demystify the process and give you the confidence and clarity you need to succeed in your quest for a high-income software career. First, we will dive deep into what high-income skills actually mean in the context of software development. We'll explore the specific roles that are in high demand, such as front-end developer, back-end developer, full-stack developer, and DevOps engineer. For each role, we will break down the day-to-day responsibilities, the core technologies you need to know, and the realistic salary ranges you can expect. This will help you choose a path that aligns with your financial goals and personal interests. Choosing the right specialization early on can make your learning journey much more focused and efficient. Next, we will lay out a step-by-step learning plan. We'll start at the very beginning. How to choose your first programming language. Don't worry, we'll make it simple. We'll guide you on setting up your development environment and creating a sustainable study schedule that fits into your life. Even if you have a full-time job or other commitments, we will cover the fundamental concepts that every developer must master, from variables and loops to data structures and algorithms. This section will be your boot camp, equipping you with the foundational knowledge upon which all your future skills will be built. It's about building a strong base. Finally, we'll show you how to transition from learning to earning. This is where the magic happens. We'll detail how to build a killer portfolio that showcases your skills and impresses employers. We'll discuss contributing to open-source projects and how to get started. We'll provide strategies for finding freelance gigs or internships to gain that crucial first piece of real-world experience. We'll cover how to craft a compelling resume and LinkedIn profile and how to prepare for technical interviews. By the end of this guide, you will have a complete plan to not just learn to code, but to successfully launch your new high-income career. When we talk about high-income skills in the software world, we're not just talking about knowing how to write a few lines of code. It goes much deeper than that. High-income skills are the specific abilities that companies are willing to pay a premium for because they directly solve expensive problems or create significant value. These are the skills that are in high demand but low supply. Think of it less like knowing a single magic trick and more like being a skilled engineer who can design and build a complex, reliable machine. These skills are a combination of technical knowledge, problem-solving prowess, and an understanding of business needs. They are what separate a hobbyist from a highly paid professional. At the core, these skills involve more than just one programming language. A high-value developer can take a business requirement, like we need a system for customers to track their orders, and translate it into a fully functional, secure, and scalable software solution. This requires understanding not just how to code, but also how to structure a large application software architecture, how to manage data effectively with databases, how to ensure the application is secure from attacks, and how to make sure it can handle thousands or even millions of users without crashing. These are the abilities that truly command a six-figure salary. Furthermore, high-income skills are constantly evolving. The technology landscape changes at a breathtaking pace. A popular framework from 5 years ago might be obsolete today. So, one of the most crucial meta skills is the ability to learn continuously and adapt to new technologies quickly. A company isn't just hiring you for the skills you have today. They're investing in your potential to grow and solve the problems of tomorrow. Being able to pick up a new programming language, a new cloud service, or a new development methodology is a skill in itself, and it's highly valued by employers who need to stay competitive. Ultimately, a high-income skill in software is one that allows you to take ownership of a piece of the digital puzzle and deliver a reliable result. It's about being the person who can be trusted with a critical part of the business's operations. This could be building the user interface that customers interact with every day, the server-side logic that processes payments, or the infrastructure that keeps the entire system running smoothly. The more responsibility your skills allow you to handle, and the more critical those responsibilities are to the company's success, the higher your earning potential will be. Before you can specialize in a high-paying role, you must first build a solid foundation. This foundation is comprised of core programming skills that are universal, regardless of whether you want to build websites, mobile apps, or work with data. Trying to learn an advanced framework without mastering these fundamentals is like trying to build a house on sand. The first and most essential skill is proficiency in at least one versatile, general-purpose programming language. Popular choices for beginners include Python, known for its simple syntax and wide range of applications, and JavaScript, which is the language of the web. Once you have chosen a language, the next step is to deeply understand its fundamental concepts. This means going beyond just copying and pasting code. You need to master variables, which are used to store information. You need to understand control structures like if-else statements and loops, which allow your program to make decisions and perform repetitive tasks. You must also learn about data structures, which are ways of organizing and storing data, such as lists, also called arrays, dictionaries, or maps, and more. Please comment, software development. Include the city you are watching this video, if you are still here with me. These are the absolute building blocks of any program you will ever write, and a strong grasp here is non-negotiable. Another critical foundational skill is problem solving, often referred to as computational thinking. This is the ability to take a large, vague problem and break it down into a sequence of small, logical, and unambiguous steps that a computer can execute. This is arguably the most important skill a developer possesses. You'll spend much of your time thinking, planning, and debugging, not just typing code. You can practice this skill by working on coding challenges on websites like LeetCode or HackerRank. These exercises train your brain to think like a programmer and are excellent preparation for the technical interviews you will face later on. Finally, every aspiring developer needs to become comfortable with their tools. The most basic of these is the command line, a text-based interface for interacting with your computer. It may seem intimidating at first, but it's a powerful and efficient tool used by all developers. You also need to learn how to use a version control system, with Git being the industry standard. Git allows you to track changes to your code, collaborate with other developers, and revert to previous versions if something goes wrong. A programmer who doesn't know Git is like a writer who doesn't know how to save their documents. Mastering these core skills is the essential first stage of your journey. Now let's explore our first high-income specialization, the front-end developer. This is the person responsible for building everything the user sees and interacts with in a web browser. If you think of a website or web application as a car, the front-end developer is the one who designs the dashboard, the steering wheel, the comfortable seats, and the shiny paint job. Their job is to create a user interface that is not only visually appealing but also intuitive, responsive, and accessible to everyone. They are the bridge between the visual design and the functional application, turning static mock-ups into living, breathing digital experiences. The core technologies for any front-end developer are the classic trio: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, provides the fundamental structure and content of a web page. CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets, is used to style the content, setting the colors, fonts, and layout. JavaScript is the magic that makes the page interactive, allowing for things like clickable buttons, animations, and fetching data without reloading the page. A solid mastery of these three is the absolute minimum requirement. A great front-end developer knows them inside and out and understands how to write clean, efficient, and maintainable code with them. To become truly high-income, however, you need to go beyond the basics. Modern front-end development relies heavily on JavaScript frameworks and libraries. These are tools that provide pre-written code and structures to make building complex applications much faster and more organized. The most in-demand frameworks today are React, Angular, and Vue. Companies are desperately seeking developers who are proficient in at least one of these. Learning a framework like React allows you to build sophisticated, single-page applications that feel as fast and responsive as a desktop app. This is a highly sought-after skill that significantly boosts your earning potential. The salary for a front-end developer can vary based on location, experience, and skill with modern frameworks. An entry-level developer might start in the $60,000 to $80,000 range. However, With a few years of experience and a strong portfolio showcasing your expertise in a framework like React or Angular, it is very common to see salaries climb well into the six-figure range, from $110,000 to $150,000 or even higher. Companies value developers who can create a seamless and enjoyable user experience because it directly impacts customer satisfaction and retention, making this a lucrative and rewarding career path. If the front-end developer builds what you can see, the back-end developer builds the engine you can't see. They work on the server, the database, and the application logic that powers the entire system. Continuing our car analogy, the back-end developer handles the engine, the transmission, the fuel system, and the onboard computer. They write code that handles user authentication, processes payments, saves user data to a database, and communicates with other services. Without a strong back-end, the beautiful front-end would be nothing more than an empty shell. It's the invisible work that makes everything possible. To be a back-end developer, you'll need to master a server-side programming language. Unlike the front-end where JavaScript reigns, the back-end has a wider variety of popular choices. These include Node.js, Python with frameworks like Django or Flask, Java, Ruby with the Ruby on Rails framework, and PHP. The language you choose often depends on the type of company or industry. Large enterprise companies often use Java, while startups might prefer Node.js or Python. Proficiency in one of these is your entry ticket. Beyond the programming language, a back-end developer must be an expert in managing data. This means you need to understand databases. There are two main types: SQL databases like PostgreSQL and MySQL, and NoSQL databases like MongoDB. A high-income back-end developer knows how to design a database schema, write efficient queries, and ensure data integrity and security. They also create APIs, which are the endpoints that connect front-end to back-end. The salary potential for back-end developers is very strong, often slightly higher than front-end roles. An entry-level position can start around $70,000 to $90,000. As you gain experience with cloud computing and building scalable, secure systems, your salary can rise to $120,000 to $170,000. Companies pay top dollar for reliable back-end developers, as they form the foundation of digital products. The full-stack developer is the versatile all-rounder of the software world. This is a developer who is comfortable and proficient working on both the front end and the back end of an application. They understand the entire stack of technologies, from the user interface in the browser all the way down to the database and server infrastructure. Using our car analogy one last time, the full-stack developer is like a master mechanic who not only knows how to build the engine or back end, but can also design and install the entire interior and dashboard, which is the front end. They can see the big picture and understand how all the different parts of an application fit together. Becoming a full-stack developer means you need to learn the skills of both the front end and back end roles. You need to be proficient in HTML, CSS, and a modern JavaScript framework like React for the front end. Simultaneously, you need to master a server-side language like Node.js or Python. Understand how to work with databases like PostgreSQL or MongoDB, and know how to build and consume APIs. This breadth of knowledge makes full-stack developers incredibly valuable, especially to startups and smaller companies where team members need to wear multiple hats. They can take an idea from concept to a fully deployed product. The path to becoming a full-stack developer is demanding because the scope of learning is so broad. It's often not a role people start in from day one. A common path is to first become proficient in either front-end or back-end development, and then gradually expand your skills into the other domain. For example, a front-end developer might start learning Node.js to build their own APIs, or a back-end developer might pick up React to better understand how their APIs are being used. This gradual expansion allows you to build on a solid foundation rather than trying to learn everything at once, which can be overwhelming. Because of their wide-ranging skill set and versatility, full-stack developers are among the most highly compensated professionals in the industry. While starting salaries are similar to specialized roles, their earning potential grows rapidly. An experienced full-stack developer who can lead projects and architect entire systems can command salaries ranging from $130,000 to $200,000 or more. Companies are willing to pay a premium for this versatility because it simplifies communication, speeds up development, and provides immense value. If you enjoy understanding how everything connects and love tackling a variety of challenges, this path could be a perfect fit for you. A newer but incredibly high-demand role is that of the DevOps engineer. The term DevOps is a combination of development and operations. This role is all about bridging the gap between the people who write the code, developers, and the people who are responsible for deploying and maintaining that code operations. In the past, these two teams were often separate, which could lead to slow release cycles and, honestly, a lot of conflicts. The DevOps engineer uses tools and automation to make the process of building, testing, and releasing software faster, more efficient, and more reliable for everyone involved. The skills of a DevOps engineer are a unique blend of software development and systems administration. They write scripts to automate repetitive tasks, a practice known as infrastructure as code. They manage cloud infrastructure on platforms like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, or Microsoft Azure. They're experts in building and managing CI/CD pipelines, continuous integration, and continuous deployment, which are automated workflows that take new code from a developer's machine and get it into the hands of users with minimal human intervention. Tools like Docker for containerization and Kubernetes for orchestration are central to their toolkit. While a DevOps engineer might not be building user-facing features, their work is absolutely critical to a modern tech company's success. They're the ones who ensure that the application is always available, that it can handle sudden spikes in traffic, and that new features can be released quickly and safely. They focus on reliability, scalability, and security from an infrastructure perspective. This requires a deep understanding of networking, operating systems, usually Linux, and security best practices. It's a role that really requires a problem-solving mindset focused on systems and processes, not just code. Due to the specialized nature of their skills and the immense value they provide, DevOps engineers are among the highest-paid individuals in the entire tech industry. The demand for skilled DevOps professionals far outstrips the supply. Even with just a couple of years of experience, salaries can easily be in the $120,000 to $160,000 range. Senior and lead DevOps engineers regularly earn upwards of $180,000 to well over $200,000. For those who enjoy thinking about systems, automation, and how to make development processes more efficient, the DevOps path offers an incredible opportunity for a high-impact, high-income career. Choosing your first programming language can feel daunting. With many languages available, it's easy to get stuck researching. The language you start with is less important than starting itself. For most, the choice narrows to Python or JavaScript. Python's readable syntax is beginner-friendly and versatile. JavaScript is direct for web development. Choose Python for data or automation. Choose JavaScript for interactive websites. Don't overthink. Commit and dive in. Real progress starts when you start coding. Once you've chosen your language, the next step is to set up your digital workshop, also known as your development environment. Getting this right from the start will make your learning process much smoother. The centerpiece of your development environment is the code editor like Visual Studio Code. Next, install the language itself, like Python or JavaScript. Finally, get comfortable with the command line, also known as the terminal. This initial setup forms the complete workshop you need to start building. It's time to talk about the most critical element for success: your routine. Motivation gets you started, but a consistent routine leads to lasting skill development. Build a sustainable habit. Even one dedicated hour per day leads to incredible progress. Find a specific, recurring time slot. Make it a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. Eliminate all distractions. Plan what you will do during your session before it starts. At the end of each session, decide what you will tackle next. Creating this structure transforms your learning into a powerful, consistent, and effective daily routine. We've designed a schedule. Now let's talk about the mindset. The goal is to make small, incremental progress every day. This is the principle of atomic habits, where tiny actions compound over time. Learning to code is like building a brick wall. Each practice session is like laying another brick. If you lay a few bricks every day, after a few months, you will look back and be amazed to see you've built a solid wall. The victory is in showing up and putting in the effort. Get a calendar and put a big X over every day that you complete your scheduled practice. Your only job is to not break the chain. Let's focus on variables, data types, and operators. A variable is a labeled box where you store information. Data types include strings for text, numbers, and booleans, true or false. Operators are symbols that perform operations on variables and values. Arithmetic operators include plus, minus, asterisk, and slash. Comparison operators like greater than, less than, and equals result in a Boolean value. Open your code editor, create variables, and use operators. Write simple programs. This hands-on practice will solidify these concepts. After mastering data, the next leap is controlling program flow. Conditionals and loops add logic, transforming scripts into dynamic applications. Conditionals, like if-else, execute code blocks based on true or false conditions. Loops repeat code, like greeting users. For loops repeat a known number of times, while loops continue while a condition is true. Practice with these essential tools. Try a guessing game or filtering even numbers. Solidify your understanding for complex challenges. As your code grows, writing everything in one long sequence quickly becomes unmanageable. Functions solve this by letting you group code into reusable blocks, like recipes you can call by name whenever needed. For example, a greet user function can print a personalized hello, saving you from repeating code. Functions make your code modular, readable, and easier to debug. Scope controls where variables exist. Variables inside a function are local, preventing accidental interference between parts of your program. Start thinking in functions. Break repeated or logical tasks into named blocks, and you'll write cleaner, more professional code. You've mastered the basics. Now it's time to move beyond tutorials and start building on your own. Following tutorials is like painting by numbers. Real learning happens when you face a blank canvas and create something yourself. Expect to struggle. Search for answers and experiment. That's how you truly learn. Begin applying your skills to small projects, integrating what you know to solve real problems. In this act, we'll show you how to generate project ideas, break them into tasks, and build a portfolio that proves your abilities. This is where you become a builder, not just a learner. Building your first project can feel daunting, but start small and pick something you care about. Don't aim for complexity. Focus on finishing a simple, useful project, like a workout tracker or a basic portfolio website. Cloning a simple feature from an existing app is a great way to learn. For a portfolio site, list out core features, header, about section, projects, and contact form. Break the project into small, manageable pieces to avoid overwhelm. Tackle one piece at a time and watch your progress build momentum. Turning an idea into a finished project involves 4 key stages: planning, development, testing, and deployment. Plan by breaking your project into the smallest possible tasks. This is your roadmap. Develop by tackling each task, learning and problem solving as you go. Test and debug constantly. Use browser tools to fix issues and improve your code. Deploy your project online using beginner-friendly platforms like GitHub Pages or Netlify. Seeing your work live is incredibly rewarding and marks your transition from coder to creator. Embrace the process. Each stage builds your skills and confidence. Your portfolio is your most important asset as a self-taught developer. Build a clean, professional website to showcase your projects and tell your story. Include an About Me section, and for each project, add a description, screenshot, tech stack, and a link to the code on GitHub. Focus on quality over quantity. 2 or 3 polished projects are better than many unfinished ones. Show progression. Start with a static site, then a web app using an API, then a full stack project. Make sure your code is readable, well commented, and includes a README. A strong portfolio and GitHub profile open doors to interviews and opportunities. As you advance, understanding data structures and algorithms becomes crucial for writing efficient, scalable code and passing technical interviews. Data structures like arrays, stacks, and hash tables organize and manage data for different needs. Algorithms are step-by-step solutions to problems, such as sorting or searching. Learning these concepts helps you write better code and make smart trade-offs. Practice on sites like LeetCode or HackerRank to sharpen your problem-solving skills and prepare for interviews. Think of this as a workout for your brain, essential for becoming a strong developer. Once you have a few projects under your belt and feel more confident in your coding skills, one of the most powerful ways to accelerate your learning and build credibility is to contribute to open-source software. Open source refers to projects where the source code is made publicly available for anyone to view, use, modify, and distribute. Thousands of the tools that developers use every day, from operating systems like Linux to code editors like VS Code and frameworks like React, are open source. Contributing to these projects is like joining a global, collaborative workshop. Why is this so valuable for a self-taught developer? First, it gives you experience working on a large, real-world code base. Your personal projects are great, but they are often small in comparison. Working on an open-source project teaches you how to navigate a complex code structure, understand code written by others, and adhere to a project's coding standards. Second, it's a form of mentorship. When you submit a contribution known as a pull request, experienced developers will review your code, provide feedback, and suggest improvements. This code review process is one of the fastest ways to learn best practices and improve the quality of your own code. Getting started can seem intimidating, but many projects are very welcoming to beginners. A great way to begin is by looking for issues labeled Good First Issue or Help Wanted on GitHub. These are tasks that the project maintainers have specifically identified as being suitable for newcomers. Your first contribution doesn't have to be a major new feature. It can be as simple as fixing a typo in the documentation, correcting a small bug, or adding a missing test. Every contribution, no matter how small, is valuable and helps you build your confidence and your GitHub profile. Contributing to open source is a powerful signal to employers. It shows that you are passionate about coding, that you can collaborate effectively with others in a team environment, and that your skills are good enough to be accepted into a real-world project. When a hiring manager sees a history of open-source contributions on your GitHub profile, it immediately sets you apart from other candidates. It's concrete evidence that you are not just a learner but an active participant in the developer community. It's a way to gain real-world experience before you even have your first job. The self-taught journey can sometimes feel lonely. You spend hours at your desk, wrestling with code and trying to solve problems on your own. However, it's crucial to remember that you are not alone. There is a vast and supportive global community of developers, and connecting with them can dramatically improve your learning experience and your career prospects. Finding your tribe, a network of peers, mentors, and collaborators provides you with support when you're stuck, inspiration when you're unmotivated, and opportunities you would never find on your own. It turns a solitary pursuit into a shared adventure. Online communities are the easiest place to start. Platforms like Twitter, now called X, Reddit on subreddits like r/learnprogramming, Stack Overflow, and Discord have vibrant communities for developers of all skill levels. You can ask questions when you get stuck, share your project progress to get feedback, and simply see what other people in the industry are talking about. Participating in these communities helps you stay motivated and learn from the collective knowledge of thousands of other developers. Just by lurking and reading, you can absorb an incredible amount of information about new technologies, best practices, and career advice. Finding a mentor can be a game changer. A mentor is someone who is a few steps ahead of you in their career and is willing to offer guidance, answer questions, and provide encouragement. This doesn't have to be a formal arrangement. You can find mentors by participating in online communities, attending local tech meetups, even virtual ones, or reaching out to people on LinkedIn whose career paths you admire. Don't just ask, "Will you be my mentor?" Instead, build a relationship by asking thoughtful questions about their work or a specific piece of advice. Many experienced developers are happy to help those who are genuinely curious and respectful of their time. Finally, consider the practice of pair programming. This is where two developers work together at one workstation. One person, the driver, writes the code, while the other, the navigator, observes, reviews the code as it's typed, and thinks about the bigger picture. You can do this remotely using screen sharing tools. It's an incredibly effective way to learn. You get to see how another person thinks and solves problems, and you can explain your own thought process, which solidifies your understanding. Finding a learning buddy at a similar skill level and scheduling regular pair programming sessions can help both of you overcome challenges and learn much faster than you would alone. Landing your first full-time role can be frustrating. Job descriptions often list 2+ years of professional experience required. How do you get experience if every job requires it? Reframe what experience means. Companies want proof you can work professionally, meet deadlines, and collaborate. Get creative in generating your own experience. Consider freelancing, internships, and building a strong online presence. Build a story that demonstrates initiative and practical skill. Let's break down how to build that narrative. One direct way to smash the experience paradox is to get paid for writing code. Freelancing. Even small projects elevate your work, forcing you to develop crucial skills beyond coding. You learn communication, managing expectations, and delivering a finished product. Start by reaching out to your network or look locally for businesses with outdated websites. Frame your services as a portfolio-building opportunity. Aim for a client testimonial and a real-world project for your resume. Completing one paid project transforms you into a professional. In today's digital world, your online presence is your resume. Recruiters will Google you, and what they find creates their first impression. Intentionally build a strong, professional online presence to showcase your skills and professionalism. A strong personal brand builds credibility and attracts opportunities. Build your online empire with a portfolio website, GitHub profile, and LinkedIn profile. Cultivate an active GitHub profile and write excellent README files. Use a professional headshot on LinkedIn. Tell your story in the About section and share updates. Optionally, start a blog to solidify your understanding and demonstrate expertise. A polished online presence presents a powerful image. While freelancing and personal projects are fantastic, nothing beats the experience of working within a real development team. This is where internships and part-time roles come in. These positions are like an unofficial apprenticeship, giving you a structured environment to learn from senior developers, understand team workflows, and contribute to a larger codebase. Many companies, especially startups and smaller tech firms, are more open to hiring interns or part-time developers who show passion and a strong portfolio. Even without a formal degree or previous job experience, these roles are specifically designed for learning and growth. Finding these opportunities requires a targeted search. On job boards, use keywords like intern, apprenticeship, junior, or part-time developer. Don't be discouraged if some still list a computer science degree as a requirement. Often, this is just a boilerplate text from HR. If you have a strong portfolio that proves your skills, apply anyway. In your cover letter, directly address your self-taught background as a strength, highlighting your discipline, passion, and the practical projects you have built. Your portfolio is your evidence that you can do the work, regardless of your educational path. Another powerful strategy is to reach out to companies directly, a technique known as cold emailing. Identify smaller tech companies or startups in your area or in a field that interests you. Do some research on what they do. Find the email address of a hiring manager, a lead developer, or even the CEO. Craft a personalized email that shows you've done your homework. Mention something specific you admire about their product or company culture. Then, briefly introduce yourself, link to your portfolio, and express your eagerness to learn and contribute, perhaps by proposing a short-term internship, even if it's unpaid or for a small stipend initially. The goal of your first internship is not the pay, it's the experience, the mentorship, and the line on your resume. An internship provides invaluable insight into professional software development practices like agile methodologies, code reviews, and using team collaboration tools like Jira and Slack. It gives you access to mentorship from senior engineers who can teach you more in 3 months than you might learn on your own in a year. Once you have completed a successful internship, the experience paradox is officially broken. You now have legitimate, verifiable professional experience from a real company, which makes landing your first full-time, high-paying role infinitely easier. Once you have gathered your experience through projects, freelancing, or an internship, you need to present it effectively. Your resume and LinkedIn profile are your primary marketing documents. They are often the very first thing a hiring manager will see, and you have only a few seconds to make a strong impression. For a self-taught developer, it's crucial to craft these documents in a way that highlights your strengths and minimizes any perceived weaknesses, like the lack of a degree. Your goal is to focus the reader's attention on what you can do, not on what you haven't done. Your resume should be clean, concise, and no longer than 1 page. Start with a clear header containing your name, contact information, and links to your portfolio website and GitHub profile. These links are non-negotiable. Next, create a summary or objective section. This should be a 2 to 3 sentence pitch that summarizes your skills and career goals. For example, highly motivated self-taught developer with a passion for creating intuitive user experiences, proficient in the MERN stack, MongoDB, Express, React, Node.js, and seeking a full-stack role to build and scale innovative web applications. This immediately tells the reader who you are and what you offer. The most important sections are projects and experience. If you have freelance or internship experience, list that first under an experience heading. Use bullet points to describe your accomplishments, not just your duties. Use the STAR method, situation, task, action, result to frame them. For example, instead of wrote code for the company website, write refactored the checkout process, which is the action, for an e-commerce site, which is the situation, resulting in a 15% reduction in cart abandonment, which is the result. Below experience, have a projects section where you showcase your best 2 or 3 portfolio pieces in a similar, accomplishment-oriented way. Finally, list your technical skills, grouped by category languages, frameworks, tools. Your LinkedIn profile should mirror your resume but in a more detailed, narrative format. Use the featured section to visually showcase your best projects with links and images. The experience section on LinkedIn allows for more descriptive text, so you can elaborate on your freelance work or internship in more detail. Actively seek recommendations from clients or colleagues. A strong recommendation is powerful social proof. Ensure every section is filled out completely. A sparse profile looks unprofessional. By creating a compelling and evidence-backed resume and LinkedIn, you present yourself as a serious, professional candidate ready for your first major role. After all your hard work, your portfolio and resume have landed you an interview. This is the final boss battle. The technical interview process can be intimidating, but with the right preparation, you can go into it with confidence. Typically, the process involves several stages, including a phone screen with a recruiter, a take-home coding challenge, and a series of live interviews with developers and managers. Each stage tests a different set of skills, and understanding what to expect is the key to success. This is your chance to bring your experience to life and prove you are the right person for the job. The initial phone screen is usually non-technical. The recruiter wants to understand your background, your motivation, and your career goals. This is where you tell your story. Practice articulating why you decided to become a developer and what you are passionate about. Be enthusiastic and professional. The take-home challenge is your opportunity to shine without the pressure of a live audience. You'll be given a small project to build. Similar to your portfolio work, take your time. Write clean, well-documented code and include tests if you can. This demonstrates professionalism and a high standard of work. The live technical interview is the most challenging part. It often involves a combination of behavioral questions and live coding. Behavioral questions, like, tell me about a time you had a conflict with a teammate, are designed to see if you have the right soft skills to work in a team. For the live coding portion, you'll be asked to solve a problem on a whiteboard or in a shared code editor. This is where your practice with algorithms and data structures on sites like LeetCode pays off. The key here is to communicate your thought process out loud. The interviewer cares less about you getting the perfect answer and more about how you approach and break down the problem. Remember, an interview is a two-way street. You are also interviewing the company to see if it's a good fit for you. Prepare a few thoughtful questions to ask them about their team culture, their development process, or the challenges they are currently facing. This shows you are engaged and genuinely interested. After the interview, always send a thank you email. Even if you don't get the job, ask for feedback so you can improve for the next one. Every interview is a learning experience. With persistence and preparation, you will pass this final stage and land that incredible, high-income software role you've worked so hard for. We've journeyed far, from initial motivation to technical interviews. Let's consolidate the blueprint for building a high-income software development career, regardless of background. It starts with a decision and a strong why. We debunked myths, emphasizing coding as a learnable skill. High-income skills mean solving real business problems in roles like front-end, back-end, full-stack, and DevOps. We covered choosing Python or JavaScript, setting up tools, and creating a daily coding routine. Build a portfolio, contribute to open source, and leverage LinkedIn. With the right plan and mindset, a six-figure software career is within reach. Let us reaffirm one of the most important messages of this guide. A university degree is not a prerequisite for a successful, high-income career in software development. In the technology industry, your demonstrated ability to deliver results will always be more valuable than a piece of paper. Companies are pragmatic. They need people who can build, maintain, and improve their software products. When faced with a candidate who has a degree but a weak portfolio, and a self-taught candidate with impressive projects and real-world experience, they will choose the demonstrated skill every single time. Your portfolio is your proof, and your skills are your currency. Think of a university degree as a receipt for an education you purchased. It proves you paid for and attended a structured program. It does not, however, guarantee that you retain the knowledge or that you can apply it effectively in a professional setting. The self-taught path, in contrast, requires you to generate your own proof. Every project you build, every bug you fix, and every line of code you contribute is a testament to your capability. This proactive approach can be even more compelling to employers because it demonstrates self-discipline, passion, and genuine love for the craft. This is not to say that formal education is without value. It provides structure and a network that can be helpful. However, it is an expensive and time-consuming path that is no longer the only option available. The resources for learning to code have been democratized by the internet. High-quality courses, interactive platforms, and supportive communities are accessible to anyone, often for free or at very low cost. This levels the playing field, creating opportunities for individuals from all walks of life to transform their financial futures based on merit and hard work. So, if you are reading this and do not have a degree, do not let that be a source of insecurity. Instead, view it as an opportunity to showcase your unique strengths. Your journey demonstrates resilience, resourcefulness, and powerful motivation. When you walk into an interview, you bring a story of personal transformation and a portfolio filled with tangible evidence of your abilities. You are not just a candidate. You are a builder, a problem solver, and a lifelong learner. In the modern tech economy, these qualities define a high-value professional, and they cannot be bought with tuition fees. The secret to success on this self-taught journey is not a magic bullet, a perfect course, or a hidden shortcut. The secret is the powerful combination of three virtues: persistence, practice, and patience. These are the pillars that will support you when your motivation wanes. Persistence keeps you going in the face of adversity. Practice is the engine of your progress. It turns abstract knowledge into intuitive skill. Finally, there is patience. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Embrace the journey. Trust in the power of persistence and practice, and have the patience to see it through to the end. Congratulations on landing your first six-figure software development job. This is a new phase, not the end of learning. Technology is dynamic. To grow your career, adopt a lifelong learner mindset. Your career is a garden you must tend continuously. Dedicate time each week to learning through blogs, podcasts, or courses. This prevents your skills from becoming outdated. Continuous learning leads to greater opportunities. Adapt and evolve to climb the career ladder. Embrace perpetual growth and find joy in mastering new skills. Successful developers never lose their student mindset. Cultivate your career to thrive for years to come. Learning is the ultimate job security. We have provided you with a complete blueprint to transform your career. The path to a high-income software career is open and accessible. Now, all the advice boils down to this critical moment. To create real change, you must take action. Your future starts now. The journey begins with a single step. What is the smallest possible action you can take right now to begin? The size of the action is irrelevant. All that is left is to start walking the path we've outlined together. The opportunity for a life of financial freedom is waiting for you. You have the blueprint, you have the motivation, and you now know that you possess the capability to succeed. The only thing separating you from the person you want to become is a series of small actions. Starting today, your future starts now. Go big.
The secret to unlocking real success lies within the wisdom you already possess. The time is now. Take the smallest possible action today. The first step is yours to take. Remember, if you want things in your life to change, you've got to make an adjustment in your mindset of change things in your life, another to get the result you want.
Hey, self. Adjust my frequency to ignite my energy as you...
Your wish is my command.